Prophecy update, take 27. No, really, I've been trying all day. All day. It's not even 10:15 in the morning. I haven't had enough sleep. Actually, I tried shooting this prophecy update video last night, and it was too emotional and just was going off on a tyrant. But this is your prophecy update, and it's February 15th, 2016. And there's two things I want to talk about before we get into what I have prepared. Now, what I have prepared, I finished yesterday, Sunday, February 14th. And I should have shot it then, but I worked second shift and I had to go to work. So I prepared my notes yesterday, then I looked at the news. And I should have done that because I was in funk all day. And I got home after work and I tried to shoot this and I was still in a funk. And I might quite possibly be in a funk even still. Coffee should help. There's two things. Late breaking news, urgent, that you should pay attention to. I'm not prepared to talk about today because, like I said, it's breaking news. Things are still happening. It's very fluent. Things are changing almost minute by minute. But number one, you're going to want to look at Syria. You're going to want to look at the players involved there. You want to listen to what they're saying, okay? Watch what they're doing. And if cooler heads do not prevail, we're looking at a very, 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 very strong possibility of all-out war. World War III. There has been threats of using tactical nuclear weapons. Things are very unstable over there. Anything could happen within the next 1 day to 2 weeks. Not even 2 weeks. 1 day to 1 week. Watch. Things could get out of control. And enough said about that. Just watch. I'm not prepared to talk about it because things are still happening. Maybe I'll make an emergency update during halfway through the week. And we'll take a look at it in depth because I'm not doing that now. Second thing you want to watch, late breaking news, stuff that's going on. And this is what got me in the funk, okay? But I hate being right, you know? I don't want to be like that guy, oh, I told you so. But I've been saying for many a year now that, 2016, watch out. Between mid-February to the end of September, America is going to hurt. Friday, I believe it was announced after Wall Street closed that Iran was dumping the American dollar as the petrol reserve, that they're going to be using other world currencies. And Wall Street's already in enough trouble. Matter of fact, I posted something on my YouTube page about that. Stuff that you should be aware of and prepared for. Well, actually, there's no way you can prepare for it. But on top of Wall Street's problems already, here we got Iran saying that they're going to dump the U.S. dollar. Bottom line for you and me, that means our spending power is going to be diminished significantly, drastically, catastrophically. I don't know. I'm not a financial analyst, but I would dare venture to say that stuff that cost you $10 today will maybe cost you $100 next week, okay? Things are happening. It's about 10:15. Wall Street's been open for a little while. I don't know what's going on there. But I'm telling you, it may take an hour, it may take a day, it may take a week, but the ripple waves are going to be felt in your pocket and in mine, on Wall Street and on Main Street. This is significant, and it's no mistake. I don't want to get all conspiracy theories type of stuff on you, but I'm telling you, we're being set up. We've been set up, and we're being played like a second-hand fiddle, and you know what? It's been my experience to find that Americans, myself included, we think, okay, we think, but we think with our emotions and not our intellect. And we're very easily fooled. We're very easily led astray. We're very easily set up. And they can make us, like a puppet on a string, they can make us dance to their tune. And they've been doing it for years. And we're so oblivious that we don't even care. And I know I probably am going to say something later in this video about being played. Anyways, we'll get to it when we get there. I don't want to get ahead of myself, and there's just late-breaking news, stuff that you want to watch. It's very, very important, okay? You want to look at Syria. And I'm telling you, we could be looking at World War III here. We could be looking at nuclear exchanges, okay? And I'm not talking about anything about prophecy. I mean, all these players, this is not the Psalm 83 war. This is not the Ezekiel 38 war. This is something that's going to set that up. It all plays together. But I don't know what's going to happen. Anything could happen. So we got to watch. We got to watch and pray always that we be counted worthy to escape all these things that are soon to come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. That's our verse, okay? But, so you're going to want to watch Syria, and I'm telling you, watch Wall Street, protect yourself, be prepared, okay? Here it comes. Get ready. All right, maybe I'll talk about later during the week about that. But for today, for your prophecy update, February 15th, 2016, I am prepared to talk about, well, there was an article on the 4th of February of this year, and it's I found it on the newamerican.com, and it's titled, Christians Should Be Eradicated. Researchers document anti-Christian agenda among the powerful elite. Do you hear me? Researchers document anti-Christian agenda among the powerful elite. Now, this is not surprising anyone, I'm sure. But here we have a book. This article is about this book written by Professor George Yancey and David Williamson, who shared their findings in their newly released book, So Many Christians, So Few Lions. Is there Christian phobia in the United States? And I think undoubtedly we can answer with a resounding yes. But here in this book they document it. They don't name names, but they'll take you to different walks of life, and they hold their finger to the pulse of America. And America, believe it or not, was founded on Christian Judeo principles, and look at us today, you would never know it. Because in America, this book, well, here's a quote. I don't know whereabouts in this book, but here's a quote from this book called So Many Christians, So Few Lions, and I quote, Unlike other types of tolerances, those who exhibited Christian phobia do not tend to think that they are intolerant. Usually, those who do not like blacks or Muslims admit that they are intolerant, but simply try to justify their intolerance. Those with Christian phobia tend to deny that they are intolerant, but rather that they are fairly interpreting social reality, envisioning themselves as fair and free of intolerance, and that allows them to blame those they detest, blame the Christians. Do you hear what I'm saying? Does it make sense? Are you able to think logically? Can you see what's happening here? It's nothing new. It should come as no surprise. But this book documents these people that are these powerful elite, it says. These people that have positions of authority and stuff. They tend to hate the Christians the most. We're not surprised, are we? We shouldn't be. Because in Matthew chapter 5, verses 10 and 12, I read, and I believe this is the words of Jesus himself. He said, Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when they revile and persecute you and say all kinds of evil against you falsely for my name's sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Persecution's nothing new. But here we see it ramping up. Even here in America, it's ramping up. No surprise. Anyone who's anyone understands. And we look at prophecy. We look at Revelations chapter 13, verse 7, okay? It says, it was granted to him, and it's talking about the Antichrist now. Revelation 13. It should ring a bell. It was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And authority was given to him over every tribe, tongue, and nation. Do you hear what I'm saying? Does it make sense? Can you see for yourself the slow but sure progression towards, I'm telling you, earlier, in 2015, we're looking at these FEMA camps, and we hear people like Hillary Clinton saying Christians are good for nothing but to be locked up and throw away the key. I'm getting ahead of myself. In Revelations chapter 11, verse 7, we can also read, and it says, and it's talking about the two witnesses here, when they finish their testimony, the beast that ascends from the bottomless pit will make war against them, overcome, and kill them. Is nothing. You can see where we're going, okay? You can see where we are, and you can see what prophecy says is going to happen. I'm not even going to talk about C.E.R.N. I'm not even going to talk about this bottomless pit and how there's a correlation there, okay? But on October 2015, OneNewsNow.com had an article called Obama. Here's the title, Obama. He says, Christians threaten the nation. This is documented. This is news. This is Obama saying Christians threaten the nation. America was built on Christian Judeo values, and now they're turning it around. It's a spin. October 2015, again, on ChristianPost.com. Pope Francis, this is an article, people. I'm not making this up. This is actually happening. Pope Francis says the Bible is a highly dangerous book. On GodFruitsTV.com, no, it's GodFruits.tv, no com. There's videos on there showing the Pope saying stuff about people who have a relationship with Jesus are dangerous and harmful. You hear me? You understand what I'm saying? Even the Pope is saying Christians are dangerous, that Christians are harmful. The supposed Christian leader of the church is saying on my Facebook page, you can go there at mike.perkins.376 and scroll back through the years. You can see how I've been showing you this is nothing new. They've always, not always, but for a long time they've been saying Christians are dangerous, Christians should be killed, and these are coming from people from authority, like this book. So many Christians, so few lions. It's here. It's now. It's prophecy. It's happening. It's going on right before our eyes. The Pope also said, and you can look this up, Google it. Matter of fact, if you're going to Google something, here you go. Here's a string search. Google Pope Francis, Christians are dangerous. Do it. You'll get 1,000 hits, 1,000,000 hits. But the Pope is on record for saying that Jesus was a failure, that Jesus is not the only way, that Jesus is not coming back. He's going against the Bible. People in positions of authority with Christian phobia. Here's this guy who's supposed to be the leader of the Christian church with Christian phobia. Crazy. Pope Francis, Obama, Hillary Clinton. Matter of fact, here, while you're Googling stuff, Google Hillary Clinton, Christians should be locked up. There's a lot of hits. And they bury what she said. You're going to have to go back farther. If they give you 1,002 pages, go back to page 900 and start going back from there. And you will see Hillary thought the microphone was not on. And she said that Christians are good for nothing but to be locked up and throw away the key. Christians are dangerous and should be killed. All right? Look it up. Don't listen to me. Look it up. See it with your own eyes. Hear it with your own ears. From the horse's mouth, as it were. And I mean that, pun intended. But anyways, we're looking at this persecution, and it's nothing new. We've been warned. It's been here all along, but you can see it ramping up. You can see where this is going, and we read in Revelations 13 and Revelations chapter 11. We know this is just the beginning. And I've told you, here it comes. Be ready. Get ready for it. But in this book by Professors George Yancey and David Williamson, you can see for yourself the duplicity, the deceitfulness in both speech and conduct of people in positions of authority who will say one thing and do another. All right? That's nothing new. Politics is built on that. Religion is built on that. Okay? That's why I'm not religious. I'm a Christian. I'm a born-again believer. I go to church, but I'm not religious, because religion is man trying to make their own way to God, any way they want. Okay? But Christianity is more like a relationship. Jesus already made the way, and He gives it to you. Just like any father would give his sons and daughters good gifts. That's the difference between religion and relationship. These people who are religious do all this stuff, and they give Christianity a bad name, and thereby just exasperating this whole, what do you call it, persecution thing. And I'm still not even awake. Let's just move on. Prophecy update. On February 13th, 2016. And again, I'm going to be trying to supply all these links. But on RT.com, Russian Times, whatever it's called, there's an article entitled Russian Orthodox Patriarch and Pope Hold Historic Meeting, Signed Call to End Persecution of Christians. I read this article several days ago, and the feelings left me now, but I remember feeling, I remember thinking, I remember seeing. All right, you know what? Do your own history, okay? Because you look at the Russian Orthodox, you're looking at the East. You look at the Pope, whoever it is now, you're looking at the West, okay, as far as religion goes, okay? East and West. Now, you do your history, you can see how they split, where it got split. You go back to the fall of Rome, okay? You do your history. You chase this back. You go all the way back to the Grecian Empire. All right, this shouldn't surprise anybody. You could follow this. You could trace this all back to the Tower of Babel. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Do you hear me? What we're seeing here, and if you wanted to, you can trace it all the way back to Cain and Abel. But what we're seeing here is kind of like a full circle type of thing. This whole ecumenism thing is part and parcel to prophecy. It has to happen, but it's painful to watch. And here, that's the link. I wrote all the links down. I'm going to give you the links, okay? But this meeting that's happening, I think it's they're meeting in Cuba of all places, is historical. It's tantamount. It's paramount. It's mind-blowing. We're watching the one world religion quickly coalesce, quickly come together. And the Bible does say, this is not my notes, but I believe it's in Revelation chapter 4. Now, the first 3 chapters of Revelation, you're looking at the church. And then you notice this conspicuous absence of the church from Revelation chapter 4, verse 1, all the way up to the end. The first 3 books is about the church. The last part of the book is about the world in the absence of the church. Where'd the church go? That's just... Anyways, we're looking at this all happening in our day and age. And to me, it's both troubling and exciting. It's a prophecy. I want you to understand what's going on here, okay? This is the one world religion coming together. And I'm telling you what, it's not for the best, okay? People will say, oh, peace and safety, this is great, this is wonderful, oh, thank God. It's dangerous, okay? It's going to lead us down a dark, dark path from which we will never return, all right? Don't go there. That's what I'm saying, all right? Watch and pray. Study. You know, we talked about the last couple times. To walk circumspectly. To walk carefully. Don't be stupid. Be wise. Don't be foolish. Pay attention. Here we go. On February 12th, 2016, on Breitbart.com. Now listen, America. Here's a article titled Venezuela Declares Another Emergency. It has run out of food. Here in this article, you can read it for yourself, and you can see socialism. You can see the failed policies of socialism. Then you look at America and this election cycle that we have going on, and you have a lot of people, if not all of them, a lot of them are preaching socialism. It's going to, be the end of all. It's going to cure all your ills. It's going to make everything better. Socialism has never ever in the history of the world, do your own research, has never gone well. It has never ended well. And we can see it today in Venezuela, okay? They have run out of food. They run out of basic necessities. I said the last time before, it's already too late for Venezuela. It's painful to watch. It's already too late for Greece. It's painful to watch. It's already too late for America. It's painful to watch. There's just so much I can say about this. But like I said, I'm emotional because I'm involved here. This is happening to me too, people. It's happening to you. It's happening to me. The difference is I have hope. Okay? And I hope you do too. Hope. You have hope. Let me just move on. On February 13th, 2016, on jpost.com, there's an article called Jerusalemites. There's a name for you. Jerusalemites. Wow. People who live in Jerusalem are torn over Herzog's proposal to give up Arab neighborhoods. Oh my goodness. I read this article and I'm a couple days removed from this, but it's stuff that you want to pay attention to. I will supply the link. You're going to want to read this. And if I remember correctly, in this article, people are saying, well, I don't know how it got so bad. I don't know where this all started. Really? Genesis 25, verse 23. This is going way back now. And the Lord said, I'm quote, Genesis 25, 23. And the Lord said to her, 2 nations are in your womb. 2 people shall be separated from your body. 1 people shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. Now you go ahead and you read that passage, Genesis 25. You're going to want to keep everything in context, okay? And in verse 24 to 26, you can see who was born first and who was born second. First it was Esau. He was born first, and then Jacob. The older shall serve the younger. Esau shall serve Jacob. The Arabs shall serve Israel. You can see it happening in the news. And you can hear the clamoring in Jerusalem right now, and they forget their own history. They just get so caught up in the moment. That's what we do, you and I. We cannot allow ourselves to get caught up in the moment and not think clearly. What's going on in the world today, that's exactly what's happening. People aren't thinking clearly. They get caught up in the moment. But if we read this passage in Genesis chapter 25, to me, again, between Genesis and today's news, to me, and I hope to you as well, you can see the proof of the existence, the sovereignty, and the power of God. He declared it from the beginning. He said, this is what's going to happen, people. Watch, pay attention, I'm telling you. And you look at today. Exactly as foretold, exactly as is described, exactly as prescribed. It's just, we should not be surprised. We're going somewhere with this. All of this is leading up to something. Jesus told us to watch, to be careful, to study, to walk circumspectly, to understand. Okay? That's what Prophecy Update, I hope, will encourage you to do that. I'm not, going there for you. I want you to get yourselves. I'm just showing you the news. People, the Bible can be trusted. The Lord can be trusted. Okay? He wants nothing but the best for us. He wants nothing but the best for you, the best for me. You look at the news, you wouldn't think so, because on breakingisraelnews.com on February 10th, 2016, there's an article called Sanhedrin's Condemnation of UN Attempts to Deny Jewish Claim to Israel Predicted by Medieval Jewish Sage 900 years ago. That's a mouthful. I'm not even awake. But in this article, I'm going to give you the link. I want you to read yourself. Because here, let me remind you of UN Charter Article 80. And it states simply this. The land of Israel is solely the designated land of the nation of Israel. And as such, the Jewish state is therefore required to represent the interests of the Jewish people. There's a lot I could say about that. But what's going on in the news today between, the West Bank and the PLO and all these players all involved throwing rocks at each other, shooting each other, and killing each other? It's understandable. It's predictable. It's painful, but it's, it's history and prophecy meeting. And we're watching it, you and I, thinking, oh, what's the problem here? How did this ever get so bad? The Bible lays it out for us. Prophecy, I don't know how to say this clearly or strongly enough. People, the Bible can be trusted. I want you to start reading it and paying attention, because I'm telling you that we are this close to some very, very, very jaw-dropping, world-changing things, okay? One of them, which I believe would be the rapture, and that's what I'm looking forward to. That's good, what the Christians call the blessed hope. You know what? Because Jesus said, watch and pray that you be counted worthy to escape all these things. Now, if you want to escape something, usually that has a connotation of it's going to be bad. And it's going to be bad. We can already see it happening. Here it comes. Pay attention. Get ready. And it would be wise to stock up on food and water and whatever, but more importantly, get ready in here. Get ready in here. Get ready. Get right with the Lord. All right? So anyways, going on with the news. Israel National News on February 11th, 2016. Oh, here we go. Now I'm going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to get into science, okay? Now on this article on Israel National News, dated February 16th, it's titled, Scientists to Unveil Proof of Einstein's Theory of Relativity. This is a game changer, folks. And I should make these videos progressively as I read this and then as I can remember, because this is this is 4 days ago. I can't remember what happened 4 minutes ago. But I do know that this is an important article that you're going to want to read. I'm going to supply the link. What I see from this, it's a game changer, okay? It's going to change how astronomers and physicists understand the universe and the implications to include space travel. Yeah, I said space travel. I remember reading this article and thinking, bam, right off the top of my head, did you ever see the movie Dune? How, they fooled space? That's what this article means. That's what it entails. That this is game changing. Science is never going to be the same. Astrophysicists are never going. We open a brand new chapter in the history of mankind, the history of science. We're learning more and more, just like prophecy foretold. It says, understanding shall increase, or knowledge. No, technology, I think it says knowledge, or anyway, it implies technology. And we see that happening in the news today. I'm not even going to get into C.E.R.N, people, but wow. Wow. My point in sharing this with you, the scientists to unveil proof of Einstein's theory of relativity, it's old news now. Today's the 15th. This came out on the 11th, and I'm sure you already heard about it. But I want you to understand, this article, this proof that they're finding only validates Scripture. It proves the Bible true, okay? And it also sets in perspective mankind's existence in relation to creation. And I want you to read this article yourself and just try to remember, you know what? This is prophecy. Bottom line, that's what this is. We're watching these scientific improvements and advancements and everything. It's good, yeah, but ultimately it's going to be bad. Hopefully, I'll make that point later. I'm not even awake yet. On technologyreview.com on February 9th, 2016, there was an article which was titled, Top U.S. Intelligence Officials Call Gene Editing a weapons of mass destruction threat. This is sobering. Okay, this is a must read. I'm going to supply the link. Considering, when I read this article, I recalled to mind DARPA's research and development over the past 2 years. If you've been watching all these things that they're doing, nanobots and nano ink and all these miniature type of like insect type of size, crazy stuff. And we got these exoskeleton suits now, and it's just crazy. Cyborgs, it's a reality. They're doing it. Creating life, it's a reality. Editing, gene editing, it's a reality, and it's a potential. And I read this article. I want you to read it too, because you could see what could be so very, very good is most likely and most probably going to be bad. Very, very bad. Because like anything, science is a tool. And if you have someone with, who wants to build a house, they're going to use a hammer to build a house. You get someone with that same hammer who wants to destroy a house, can and will destroy the house with a hammer. Science is nothing but a tool. And I'm telling you, people in places of authority not only have Christian phobia, they hate America, they hate humanity, it's demonic. That's the bottom line. It's demonic. And nothing good is going to come of this. It has so much potential. And here we got this top intelligence, U.S. intelligence official is saying, hey, look out. This gene editing, this CRISPR-Cas9 is a weapon of mass destruction. He makes a very good point. I want you to read this article. I will supply the link. Moving on. Gizmag.com on February 8th, 2016. You like science? You're going to love this one. China's experimental fusion reactor maintains a superheated hydrogen plasma for 102 seconds. Now, right now that doesn't mean a thing, does it? Read this article. Understand what it's telling you. Let it sink in. And, whew, this is good stuff, okay? In this article, you'll see that scientists have heated plasma at 50 million kelvins, or that's more than 3 times the temperature of the sun's core. Do you hear me? Do you understand what I'm saying? 3 times more hot than the core of the sun. And they held that temperature for 102 seconds. What they plan to do with this experimental fusion reactor, what they plan on doing is reaching, now listen to this, 100 million kelvins. If 50 million kelvins is more than 3 times the temperature of the sun's core, this is like 7, 8, 9 times the temperature of the sun's core. They want to heat it to 100 million kelvins and hold it for 17 minutes. A very good article. I will supply the link. You'll see that there's 36 countries involved in this. And it's got good potential. It does. It could be a renewable source of energy. It could power the world cheaply, efficiently, but it's going to be really dangerous, don't you think? If we're heating things up 7, 8, 9 times the heat of the sun's core here on Earth, how are we going to contain all that? Now, you look at all that, and you look at C.E.R.N, okay? I'm not going to talk about C.E.R.N. I want you to see it for yourself. In the description box below, I'm going to be giving some links, okay? I want you to look at them. I want you to watch because there's videos. I want you to read because there's articles. I want you to understand because it's important, okay? As far as prophecy goes, I'm telling you, C.E.R.N, not good. That's all I'll say about that. With that in mind, with science and all this stuff going on, science and the New Age, right? Science is part and parcel to all the stuff that's going to happen here, now, and in the future. And in the future, we see that, it's going to be a one world this, one world that, blah, blah, blah. More important than blah, blah, blah. This is tantamount to your existence, tantamount to your safety, or to your survival and or circumference. You can escape all these things. The Bible says, pray always that you be counted worthy to escape all these things. The New Age is not going to be good. All right? It's not good. Let me give you a quote. Now listen to me. We're entering this time period. The New Age or the New Age religion, the New World Order. It's all one. It's all one. And we're at the door. We're at the precipice of going in here. And David Spangler is on record for saying, and I quote, "No one will enter the New World Order unless he or she will make a pledge to worship Lucifer. No one will enter the New Age unless he or she will take a Luciferian initiation." I told you before that people tend to think with their emotion and not their intellect. And I'm looking back, how many people here took that the ice bucket challenge? Not me. Raise your hand. Did you take the ice bucket challenge? You did so emotionally and not with your intellect. Do you understand what the Luciferian initiation writes? Google it, okay? What you've been tricked into doing. And I'm not saying this was the initiation, this is the Luciferian initiation. You didn't do so willingly, okay? This was a mock drill. I'm sure they all had a good laugh watching you dump water over yourself and oh, la, la, la. You see how easily we are manipulated, that I'm manipulated, that you are manipulated. People who are willing to pour ice cold water on themselves thinking that, oh, it's for the best. You have no idea. You have no idea. Look it up. Google it. Go on YouTube. Go on whatever. There's information's out there. The information, you have to use your intellect. My mom used to say back growing up, if everyone was jumping off a bridge, would you do it too? If everyone's dumping ice on their head, would you do it too? If everyone takes a New Age Luciferian initiation, would you do it too? This guy, this David Spangler, he wrote a book called Reflections on Christ. And on page 45, I'll quote, "Lucifer comes to give us the gift of wholeness. La-di-da-da. If we accept it, then he is free, and we are free. This is the Luciferic initiation. It is one that many people now, and in the days ahead, will be facing. For it is an initiation into the New Age." People are looking at this New Age like, this one world thing. It's going to be all lollipops and ice cream. No, it's not. No, it's going to be nothing but razor blades and lemon juice, okay? I'm telling you, listen to me. Pay attention. Use your intellect. Think with your intelligence and not your emotions. Because if people will tell you, you follow your heart, you always get hurt, right? There's an opportunity for me to preach here, and I don't want to, but I do want you to understand the importance. Because this is prophecy. This is happening. This is going on. This is including you. It's including your family. It's including me. It's including my family, okay? There's just so much going on in the news today. I'm not even giving you a thumbnail sketch, and I'm already out of time. But there's so much going on. And there's so much going on. I don't even have time now to talk about America in the New Age. But I'll tell you what. You can see it happening. It's going to probably happen this week or this month. Definitely in March and April. I don't even think we're going to make it to September before we become a third world status. Let that sink in. America is going to be reduced to a third world status. You look at the Sudan, you look at Ethiopia, you look at what's happening right now in Venezuela. America's next. I don't like it. I don't like to have to be the one to tell you that. But you should see it already for yourself. On my Facebook page, I've been posting this guy named Gregory Manarino. He's telling us what's going on in the financial market. And he's saying it's all a setup. It's all been orchestrated. It's all been designed. And guess what? It's happening. It's real. It's the truth. You don't have to like it, okay? But you can't deny it. America in the New Age, we're going to be reduced to a third world status, and it can happen in a day. It can happen in an hour. It can happen in a week. I don't know how long. It may be like a slow burn, which already is. But I do know, bottom line, everything is going to change. I'm thinking now of a movie. I don't know, you might have saw it years ago. Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. There's a classic line in that movie. The Silver Surfer says, God is bringing destruction and he's a world killer and all this stuff. But he says to somebody, he says, all that you know has come to an end. And that is so true for you and I right now. All that we know is that it's end. Prophecy is here and now. The tribulation is right at the door. Okay? You look at what's going on in Syria. You look at what's going on in Wall Street. Look what happened. It's just, things are happening so quickly. Things are happening so quickly. And we've been set up. We've been stupefied. We're it's just crazy. It's painful to watch. It's painful to be a part of. It's going on right now. It's going on right now. It's February 15th. It's going on right now. Are you ready? If the rapture happened today, would you be ready? Would you be counted worthy to escape all these things? Now I know, in Christianity, there's, blah, blah, blah. There's so many people that have the pre-trib rapture, the mid-trib rapture, the post-trib, the amillennials. There's so many different views. And I know some friends. I have some very near and dear friends who I love with all my heart. And this is not a dig against them. But I watch them as they go from believing one thing and they flip-flop. They totally, night and day. 1 minute they believe in the pre-trib rapture. They listen to blah, 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 Joe Schmo, whatever. And now they don't believe in a rapture at all. I believe in a pre-trib rapture, and I can understand the rationale. I can understand the human reasoning. Get that? Human reasoning. I can understand that. Well, how people will say, oh, it's a mid, or it's a post, or it's not going to happen. I can understand that. Because I'm thinking emotionally. Now, when I think rationally, when I use my intellect, whatever's left of it, when I use common sense and I read the Bible says in Matthew chapter 24, verse 37, but as the days of Noah were, this is Jesus speaking, but as the days of Noah were, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. Now you're going to want to look at this. Genesis chapter 7, verse 13, as it was in the days of Noah. Here we go. Listen to this. Genesis chapter 7, verse 13. On the very same day, Noah and Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them, entered the ark. On the very same day that they entered the ark. Do you hear me? You understand? Now you look at verse 16, and I'm not going to read it to you. But you look at verse 16, everything in content and context. Jesus said, as it was in the days of Noah. Now it says in Genesis chapter 7, on the very same day that they went into the ark. In verse 16, I love this. And I'm here. And so they entered, and the Lord shut them in. Noah and his 3 sons, and Noah's wife, and his 3 sons' wives, they all went in. 8 people went into the ark. Who shut the door? They didn't. Jesus did. Safe. Okay? You're being counted worthy to escape. And Jesus shut them in. Genesis 19, verse 16. Again, we're still talking about as it was in the days of Noah. In the days of Noah. And Jesus also says, as it was in the days of Lot. Right? Right? Read the Bible. It's in there. Here we go, Genesis 19:16. Here's Lot. And while he lingered, and while Lot lingered, understand what I'm telling you. While he lingered, the men took hold of his hand. Do you hear me? These men here are the angels sent to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot says, oh, it's nice here. It's comfortable. I like it. While he lingered, the men took hold of his hand. in his wife's hands, in the hands of his 2 daughters. The Lord being merciful to him, they brought him out and set him outside the city. So it came to pass in Genesis 19, verse 17, and so it came to pass when they had brought him out of the city, they said, escape for your life. Do not look back or stay anywhere in the plain. Now listen to me. Escape to the mountains. Escape to the mountains, lest you be destroyed. Escape to the mountains. Remember Daniel chapter 2, verse 34. And this is the dream of Nebuchadnezzar. Alright? You're going to want everything in context. So write these verses down and go back and read them for yourselves, because I want you to see this. Why I believe in a pre-tribulation rapture. Daniel 2, verse 34. Speaking of Nebuchadnezzar's dream, Daniel says, you watched while a stone was cut without hands, which struck the image on its feet of iron and clay and broke them in pieces. If you understand, if you ever read this at all, you understand what I'm telling you. This statue was a vision, it was a dream of the linear of time. It started from the head and worked its way down. Here we are, you got Nebuchadnezzar, greatest kingdom on earth. And it works its way down. And the legs and the feet were a symbol of the revived Roman Empire. Okay? And here we got this stone. Can we watch the interpretation, when we hear the dream, the stone that was cut without hands? Jesus Christ is the foundation, the stone, the rock of our salvation, came and crushed the feet and the legs. Escape to the mountains. Jesus is our mountain. He's our escape. He is our salvation. He's our hiding place. We know this from Scripture. To me, very interesting. I was told to, Noah and his family, they were lifted up. They were lifted up. They were closed in and they were separated. Now that's a picture of I don't want to preach. I'm already out of time, and I apologize for that. But just understand me. Go back and read these for yourself, okay? Genesis 19:22, and I'll hurriedly get through this. Genesis 19:22, as it was in the days of Noah, as it was in the days of Lot. Genesis 19:22, saying, hurry, escape there. The angels have come to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. They're here for judgment. They're here for destruction, and they're telling righteous Lot. God called Lot righteous. Was he perfect? Not even close. Was he righteous in the eyes of God? This is a sermon right here, but understand what I'm telling you. The angels, the men who came to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, told Lot, hurry and escape there. Go to the mountains. Go to Jesus Christ. Escape there. Hurry, because I cannot do anything until you arrive there. We see word pictures in Scripture from beginning to end that I believe speaks, and it's pre-tribulation rapture. I can't do anything until you arrive there, until you are in the rock, until you're in. From Genesis 19:22, hurry, escape there, for I cannot do anything until you arrive there. Automatically, you have to think of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 51 and 52. And Paul writes, he says, behold, I tell you a mystery. Okay? To the Old Testament church, to the Old Testament Jews, they didn't understand. But to us, you and I, we are that mystery. Behold, I tell you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised incorruptible, and we shall all be changed. This is a picture of the rapture. This is the mystery that the Jews didn't get, that they still don't get. John 14:3. I got to wrap this up quickly. I've already gone too far. John 14:3. And if I go and prepare, this is Jesus saying, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may also be. I wish I had time to preach. I really do. 1 Thessalonians 5:9. Again, you should know this. I hope you do. For God did not appoint us unto wrath, but to obtain salvation through our Lord Jesus Christ. We don't have to be here for the worst of it. if you put your hope, you put your trust, you put your faith in Jesus. Okay? In 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 16, it says, take heed to yourself. Pay attention. Be careful. Walk circumspectly. Take heed to yourself and to the doctrine. Continue in them. For in so doing, you will save both yourself and those who hear you. Do you understand what I'm saying? 1 Timothy 4:16. Understand that verse. Take heed to yourself and to the doctrine, to the scriptures, to the Bible. Continue in them. For in so doing, you will save both yourself and those who hear you. Again, 2 Peter 3:9, the Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some consider slackness, but is long-suffering towards us, not willing that any should perish, but that we should all come to repentance. Now, I wish I had time. I'm already out of time. I'm sorry. I really believe, and if I have given the time, I think I can convince you too, that the Bible plainly teaches a pre-tribulation rapture, because we're not appointed unto wrath, right? But if I'm wrong, and I realize there's so many different worldviews out there, so many different opinions, so many different men who will explain away this and explain away that, tell you to read this book to understand that book, and understand that book to understand this, and so on and so forth. I understand that. I get that. And I understand I'm human. I could be wrong too. Let me close with reading Job chapter 13 to you, okay? And this is I stand on this. In Job 13, verses 14 through 18, I can be wrong. And if I am, let me read Job. Why do I take my flesh in my teeth and put my life in my hands? Though he slay me, yet I will trust him. I could stop right there. Though he slay me, yet I will trust him. Even so, I will defend my own ways before him. He also shall be my salvation. For a hypocrite could not come before him. Listen carefully to my speech and to my declaration with your ears. See now, I have prepared my case, and I know that I shall be vindicated. I don't have time. That is a sermon. I've already gone far too long. I'm going to supply the links. I'm going to break it up into sections. I want you to understand. I want you to look at these. Click on these links. Read these articles. Watch these videos. I want you to think with your intellect. Not with your emotions, but with your intelligence. Okay? There's a lot here. There's a lot going on. And it's already too late. This is probably my worst prophecy update to date. I'm not even awake yet. This is my second cup of coffee. But watch and pray always that you be counted worthy to escape all these things that are soon to come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. And with that, I'll say good luck.